Hey guys, it's 11:01 p.m. I just watched Losing Ground, the 1982 movie by Kathleen Collins. So let's fucking talk about it. Yeah, so this is actually the second time I watched this movie, and I am really, really obsessed with this movie. I think this movie is so, so beautiful. The plot synopsis is a comedy drama about a black American female philosophy professor and her intensive, philandering, and flamboyant artist husband who are having a marital crisis. When the wife goes off on an almost unbelievable journey to find ecstasy, her husband is forced to see her in a different light. And yeah, the movie's really about that core relationship between the two main characters, played by Sarah Scott, who plays Sarah, the lead woman, and then Bill Gunn, who plays Victor, the husband. It's really just a character dive on these two characters and their relationship and their past. And the movie's only an hour and 25 minutes, and in such a short time, it really shows such a deep and well thought out and fully realized characters and their really long relationship that has come up until this point and also spanning a long point, the time frame that the movie shows, and also just leaving so much to what's going to be afterwards because it's just a slice in their relationship and really just provides such a deep and interesting look into these characters. And like the plot synopsis said, she goes on a quite literal journey to find the meaning of the word ecstasy, and that is kind of what the movie is just generally about, is her trying to find ecstasy in her life while also being jealous of all the different ways her husband finds ecstasy in his life through art and other mediums without her, sadly. Um, and it's just a really, really emotionally affecting movie, and I think this is really just due to the directing by Kathleen Collins. Rest in peace. This is the one and only feature film that she made. She tragically passed away at a young age, and this was the first feature film made by a black woman. But sadly, due to the times, even in 1982, it wasn't released, sadly, but it was able to be found, um, I think something like 10, 20 years ago, and refurbished and remade to be watchable these days. And I'm so glad that we're able to watch it because it's just such a really engaging movie. It's just such really beautiful characters. Visually, this movie is just an absolute treat to look at, with the incredible cinematography and directing, by Kathleen Collins. I really wish we just could have seen more of her work because she obviously had such a interesting look at film in the medium and had such a great eye for shooting so many different types of things. And her directing was so impressive. It was lots of long takes, so it'd be kind of hard for these actors, these really, really long takes, either constantly just slowly zooming in or zooming out or doing both in at the same take. And it would just be so affecting watching them, drawing out the something with the 4:3 ratio as well. It's a very like suffocating movie in that, with these long takes as well, and it's constantly shifting between these medium and close-up shots, and it was always constantly for a reason, either showing the power dynamic shifts in the conversations primarily between the couple, that is most of the scenes in the movie, um, and also just showing the direction of the line of focus in the scenes where there's lots of people talking and such. And it's just really, really engaging to watch on a technical level. um, and then it's also just carried by the acting by Sarah Scott Pilgrim, and also Dwayne Jones, who plays a side character that the main woman starts getting majorly involved with, and he is just a perfect match for her on every level, and they just make the perfect duo. And every single scene with each character is just so captivating and gives it just such an interesting look at these really, really great characters. And it's just such a absolute treat to watch. And it has lots of thematic depth, I think, and lots of details, and it's writing with this very smart script, though pretty heavy handed at times. I still think the themes that it presents and a lot of its sexual and racial themes throughout it are very prevalent in today's society, as well as, they're just done in a really interesting way. I still find very long-winded, like the takes in this movie. But I just have so much to say about this movie. It's really well done. The music is so great. I think um, a theory I kind of had about this movie. There's this filmmaking character, this subplot with her making a film with one of her students who's a filmmaker, which is a great subplot. It's with the actor Dwayne Jones. That's how she meets him. Spoiler, sorry, but and I have a theory that the film that the filmmaker in the movie is making is the film that we're watching as well. And I think there's a lot of very obvious thematic and story beat, structural beats, I guess, in the really smart script that kind of prove that with how it mirrors itself with the film that he's making in it, and then also the relationship. It's connected in a lot of ways with the actions that's happening in both of them, and it really ties together as well with the final scene in the movie where it's the end scene of the film that the filmmaking guy is shooting. It's the final scene of that, and it also happens to be the final scene of the movie. And the husband comes and watches her film the final scene, and it's just her fully realizing her worth and her character and what she deserves in life in kind of pure ecstasy in a way. And it's a really just emotional scene. Um, and I think it leads into that idea. And I think it makes it obviously a super meta movie, and I love that about it. I think there's just lots of different layers to this movie that just make it an absolute treat. I got this on Criterion Channel. I watched it for the first time. When did I watch this? I watched this sometime earlier this year. I rated it a perfect score. I would still put it that way. Fuck it. I just think this movie is just so special and just so incredible, and I'm just so happy that after all these years we're finally able to get it you know remastered, and that we were able to watch it because it's really just a absolute treat of a movie. So check that out if you've got the Criterion Channel. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this closet quickie. Thanks for watching. If you want to follow the socials in the Closet WJN, we're on Twitter or Instagram, or my personal socials, ChickenMaster568 on Letterboxd, Twitter, or Instagram. Also, check out the YouTube page where we'll have this and all the other podcast episodes, of course. Podcast is also on Anchor and Spotify and most other podcast shares. Hopefully, going to be getting it up on Apple Podcasts soon. Check that out. Remember, next week on the podcast, we're going to be reviewing the movie You've Got Mail, as well as we're going to be talking about our top 3 filmmakers that we're most thankful for, or just film related people in general, people in the industry, or related to filmmaking in some way that we're most thankful for. And so if you want to join in on that topic, DM us on Instagram or Twitter in the Clouds of WJN, and we'll respond to and kind of talk about as well as ours, join in on the conversation, your opinion, on the movie You've Got Mail, or a response to that topic of the week if you want to join in. So yeah, thanks for watching. Tune into the podcast next week, and I'll see you. Thanks.